So today we're gonna talk about what advices can we give to our 20-year-old self. Before that, just a little background. Kirk and I had been childhood friends ever since because our parents were best friends. He had been through a lot. Kirk, can you tell us something about yourself?
My name is Kirk and I'm in my 30s now and I feel old but I feel empowered and limitless. The reason why I say that is because I started my journey at a very young age as a career man, and it was a long journey and I have so many stories to share, and I think all those experiences I've gathered for, I think, 13 years working, striving, are very essential to who I am now. I think that sums up everything about me.
Just like what you said, there's so much things to tell, and that's the reason why this is a very nice topic. What advice can you give to your 20-year-old self? Kasi, di ba, we're so kiat before or what, but we're so lost. And I think that this is very empowering whenever we talk about this kind. There are also young people who needs to hear this. So we're gonna start with this question, Kirk. What was your life like when you were 20?
I was already working very early, no? So when I was 20, I was already achieving things little by little in the business world. If you're familiar with the BPO industry, that's actually where I started. When you are in an industry where competition is very, very stiff, you always want to be the best, or you just want to be, kept in the background. And I was someone who wants to always go forward, who always wanted to be a leader. So in my 20s, I was already very focused on my goals. I had to. My dad left when I was young, so I had to take over, taking care of the family as the eldest son. So at that age, I was just working. I even forgot about having fun.
Pero prior to like being competitive in terms doon sa BPO, what were your struggles? Were you competitive or were you like the walang confidence type of Kirk before?
I think I was picked on because of my youth. When I joined the BPO industry, I was already in a sea of people who are so ahead of me. I was 17 when I started. If I will look back, I would always remember how difficult it was to adjust with the time schedule. When it comes to adapting to the new lifestyle that you see in the industry, it's so different. Very, very different from what I've experienced before, because when I was studying, I was already earning a little, but I was in the music industry. I was singing in pubs or bars any gigs that I could get, I would do so. But when you are in the business world, especially when you have to follow the US time, it's really difficult because you are in the midst of people who has been in the industry for 10 years, people who are 10 years older than you, or maybe 20 years older than you. These are people who are successful already and you're still starting. So sometimes there were actually times I would feel very little. I would not speak up when I was still starting because I was very intimidated and I didn't want to embarrass myself. That's how it was like when I started.
What pushed you to like really step out of that being shy, being small?
When I was younger, it was like the wrong kind of push. Because before, I've always wanted to fit in. I've always wanted to become somebody I was not. So what I did was to break out of my shy shell. I would pretend to be somebody else, to the point where I almost became a pathological liar. I pretended to have this and have that I can do this and I can do that. But the truth of the matter was, I really didn't have all those things that I said I had. I really couldn't do those things I said I could. On the other hand, it actually helped me to do better because I was striving to become somebody.
Yeah.
I was working really hard to achieve what I wanted to see in myself when I look at myself in the mirror. So it helped me a little, but it was not a good kind of push, but it still pushed me to do well.
To some, I think it looks like a weakness na parang, why are you doing that? But it turned out that it was strength. I've been there too, trying to fit in and everything. But then, the good thing about that is you're not stuck on that situation for too long, diba? Like, you really learned out from that. And yeah, that's what really built you now. And I'm really amazed with the transformation that you
I think if there's one thing that amazes me too is the fact that now at 30 years old, when I look back, I do not hate myself. I do
Mm-mm.
not hate who I used to be. I'm more accepting now. I accepted the fact that I had to go through all that lying. I had to go through all the pretensions. I had to go through all that fitting in
Yeah, yeah.
to really eventually find myself, to
Yes.
eventually mark my space, to
Yes.
eventually become a leader in my own way. Age is just a number, but at this point in my life now, I have been more accepting of
Yeah.
myself when I was younger. And I think that's very, very important because most adults today hated themselves when they were young.
Yeah.
They always had like, I wish I didn't do this, I wish I didn't do that.
Yes.
It actually brings me back to a question in Miss Universe 2010, a question given to Miss Philippines when she was asked by a judge, is there any regret that you want to change in your life? This is something that I would have wanted to, if I were to answer that question, I would tell them that, I don't regret anything because I have accepted all the flaws, I've accepted all the imperfections. It helped me to become who I am now, and it will help me to become a better version of myself every single day I wake up in this world. And it will also make me become a very more loving person day by day. No regrets at all.
Agree. So, with that, if you were like gonna talk to your 20-year-old Kirk, tapos the 30-year-old Kirk right now, what advice can you give to your 20-year-old Kirk?
I will tell Kirk that it's okay. Your choices now, you might feel a little bad about it, but it will help you to become a better person. Just take your time, run at your own pace, walk to the beat of your own drum, and don't forget to also listen to elders and use them as an inspiration, but never copy them. Because I've had this mantra already, I think 6 or 7 years, that life doesn't have a formula at all. It's not mathematics that you can go to a certain formula to resolve something. Life is a matter of choice. It's not by destiny. And when you say it's a matter of choice, you are your own driver. You waste your own fuel. You drive at your own mile. So just take your time.
Yeah.
Get inspiration, but never copy them. Because when we try to copy somebody, it becomes a frustration. So I will tell my 20-year-old self, you're doing just fine.
Yeah.
Go for what you want to get, and you'll eventually get it.
Parang as what they've said, diba? You learn from others' experience, and not as what you've said, don't copy. It's okay, siguro for me, it's okay to copy at first. Pero like in the long run, when you get the pace, you should have your own decisions pa. And I think we have to remind ourselves that it's still your life. Do you agree that the moment we let others decide for us or we let their decision affect us, we also change the pacing in our lives, so we get to like lose but the opportunities.
Yes, just steer your own cup. That's how I would call it.
Kadami mo man pala mga mantra dyan.
Grabe. But these mantras actually will help you to to see what works for you and what doesn't. So it's always good to try new mantras in life along the way.
It's something that you should hold on to. Like for me, my mantra is whatever is yours will find its way to you. So every day, parang I get to live it, but like I accept it as it is. So parang it's very gaan. Speaking of that, what is your motto in life? Lately,
because I have been reading books from Mark Mason. I forgot his name. When you say that, it doesn't mean that you have to screw up everything. It actually means to say that listen to what other people are saying about you, but don't put it in your mind and in your heart. Just listen to it and try to weigh things out and see. Again, it really goes back to my mantra that there's no formula. So what works for you will work for you. What doesn't will not.
Yes.
So fuck everything. It doesn't matter what people say. If you fail one day in your life, just get
Yeah.
back up and do it again.
Yeah, with that, I think that for me, there's no such thing as failure if you've learned from it, right?
Yes.
It's not a failure anymore. So what matters is how you really get up after that, and it's not a failure anymore. That's how you change the way you think, and it's much more easier to take. But with what you said, you had no regrets. Pero siguro there might be one thing, wala talaga, that might ring a bell with the regrets that you had before from your.
I wouldn't say regret. I do not want to say it is a regret. Maybe if I would have an opportunity to do something sooner, I think it's about me coming out. I would have come out sooner so that I was freer when I was younger.
Yeah.
Siguro that part lang, but it's not a regret because now looking at how things are going with my family and my personal life and with my friends, I think this is the perfect time that I came out because I was ready to stand on my own feet. If ever I don't get accepted once I come out, I was already strong enough to tell myself that it's okay that if they don't accept you, as long as you accept yourself. So I think it's still okay that I came out late in my life.
Yeah.
But if I would have done something sooner, it would be the coming out thing.
Speaking of that, kasi since we are now opening up that coming out, what stopped you from really coming out of your shell?
What stopped me is, I had so much respect for my dad and my mom's Christian beliefs. And then I had so much respect as well to the church that I was in.
Yeah.
I felt like at that time, if I came out or forced myself to come out, it would have ruined everything too soon.
Yeah.
And the family was not ready for that.
Okay.
The church wasn't ready because, as you know, my dad and my mom are both pastors. It would have ruined everything too soon. And if we were not ready, I think it would be more difficult for the family to handle. I think that's the reason why I did not come out.
Yeah, there's really a perfect timing for everything. Kasi if we come out too soon, it would have gone maybe wrong. Like, if it's the right time. So, siguro to our 20-year-old self, don't force yourself too much. The right time will come. Kasi before, we're too impatient. Like, I want to have this, I want to say this already because I feel like that. Pero in reality, you should really be patient because whatever will happen, will happen. For the information of everyone who's listening here, Kirk grew up in a church. His mom and dad are both pastors, but Tito already passed away. And he's been really strong ever since. He had been the breadwinner ka na din when Tito went to heaven. You're doing a great job, just so you know. And
thank you.
I always tell you that. So I love you for that.
And I still find it off when I receive compliments like that.
Yeah,
but I'm working on it.
Yeah, but at least you're aware. We also need people who remind us what we are, what we're capable of, what we are good at. In relation to what we talked about earlier, about coming out of the shell. So there are also a lot of 20-year-olds right now who are also hiding, like coming out of the shell, being gay.
I think when you talk about coming out, I don't want to limit it to just coming out as gay or as lesbian. It's also, even those who are straight like you, women or men, you also need to come out from your defeated self. You also need to come out from your dark childhood. We all have a place where we need to come out from. And if I may encourage everybody out there, whether you are straight, bi, lesbian, or whatever you identify yourself with, coming out is actually something that you have to work on yourself, but never forget that you are never alone. That's something that I just want to share out there, that, you might think that you are struggling alone in a certain department or in a certain area in your life, but, the truth of the matter is there are billions of people around the world that can relate to you.
True.
And always go back to that thought that whenever you need help, there will always be someone who's willing to listen. It could be a friend,
Yeah.
a family, or better yet, a stranger.
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable talking to a stranger, go ahead. Our world right now is very capable, and it offers so many ways for us to be able to share what we go through or what we struggle with. So you always have channels to do whatever it is that you want to do, just to put it out there. You can start writing, if I may suggest, or there are private group chats where you can relate to people who struggle the same anger management issues, or wanting to be able to really identify who they are. There are so many things that you can find in the internet right now. Why not use it to your advantage?
Yeah.
So this is my encouragement, really. Don't lose hope. Use all the channels and exhaust all the efforts that you can to also help yourself, because you can go to doctors, you can go to advisors that you can find out there. But if you don't listen to your inner self, and you don't talk to your inner self, and you don't push your inner self, nothing's going to happen. So it's all on you. All on you. That's it.
I agree. I really agree. It's not just like gay ka ba or bi or whatever. It's being true to yourself. And I can really relate kasi lately I've been doing a lot of going out, coming out of my shell. And I agree na it's not just about gender. And a lot of people are hiding kasi they feel safe. But the only thing that can really, overcome those things is to really execute lang ba? And to take a risk.
Yes.
Kasi, di ba, when you come out, it's lamig ka siya sa feeling. It's very liberating and all of those. And it's taking control of your life. And I can relate in some way because I'm not gay. I'm straight. But I have my certain truth that needs to come out. And this is it. This is what I'm doing right now. So it's more empowering, but it's also for us, diba? We're not doing it for them, but we're doing it for us.
Yeah, because this is something really true in any environment. A very good example are, for those who are in a work environment, sometimes you're too scared to open up your ideas on how to help your company because you feel little. One day you wake up, somebody already shared that kind of idea. You could have been that person.
Correct.
Or maybe those who are about to graduate from senior high and trying to figure out which course to take, and their parents are telling them, you take this, you take that, but you have been hiding all these years that there is something that you want to pursue and you just can't say it. So the encouragement is come out, because after all, you are your own driver. That's the sad truth about life. Your parents will eventually leave you because they're older.
That's correct.
That the truth of parenting is that they only want the best for their kids, but the kids would always know what works best for them.
Yes,
you can listen, and then you can banter, and then meet halfway, and that's still a coming out story.
Living your truth. Living your truth is power. Living your truth is communicating. Living your truth, risking it, even if you're too scared. And that's how you overcome fear. Yeah, I so love this. I love our conversation. Very empowering.
I know. Because I know for a fact that not everyone can communicate through words or through speaking. So if you're someone who wants to write down your coming out story and send a letter, go ahead. It's not corny. Because sometimes good people are thinking, if I do this, it's so cheesy, it's corny, it's out of the ordinary. But who wants to be ordinary? Right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Do it your way.
Dapat pala ang title ng natin is Coming Out. I'm coming out.
Well, initially, that could have been the plan. Making things happen. But this is still in sync with what do you want to tell your younger self, because I know we have viewers at 20 or even younger. We also have viewers at our age. So this is something that will open their minds that it's okay to have done things at the younger age and want to change it now. And for those who are younger, you're about to open a new chapter in your life, so just be ready and take your own pace.
And what I can say with my younger self is the weirder you are, the better. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
you get to be who you truly are. And alam mo yun, you get to explore yourself. Kasi when I was growing up, ano ako yung parang pasikat good. Gusto ko maging pin ba? So, palagi ako nasa hanggang sa nagtanda ako and then everything. Actually, nag-in talaga ako. Pero the moment that I really got to, parang like this, I post things like this, like I don't really care anymore, like this is my truth. So I really like the weird me, and we have to embrace the weird us. Kasi that's how we
Yes.
become different from others. And it's
As
very,
long as you are authentic, no?
yes, true. And don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's normal to get scared, but just do it anyway. Right? Just do it anyway. Basta you don't step on anybody. You're doing what you really want to do. Right? So that's really a nice realization for tonight.
Yes, I would agree. Because people often take it as a miss when you are different, but as long as you are authentic, because there are also other people who just want to be too different, but that's not their authentic self.
True.
So it always goes back talaga sa idea na you just have to be authentic. That's it. You might have a struggle trying to find your authenticity in life, but it will eventually come. It's a process. It doesn't happen in a snap. It's not like magic where you can wish a genie to make it happen for you. It's a daily journey that you have to take.
And you learn.
Step by step.
It's important
Yes.
to learn from everything, and be better than yesterday. So it's all a matter of really taking control of your life and what you really want to happen. So, speaking of that, what fears did you have back then when you were younger that you conquered now? How many years did it take you to conquer it? Pinaka-fear.
Pinaka-fear, I would be very honest, I was so scared to die. I was really, really scared to die. I didn't want to die young because I had so many dreams. Even now, even now, I still have that little fear of dying ugly. But at least now, I am not afraid to die. I just don't want to die ugly. That's why, you know about me, right? Before I go to sleep, I always make sure I shower well. I always make sure I choose my best underwear, my best garments before I go to sleep. Because, if I die, I want the person to take care of me, to see that, he takes care of of himself really well. This is the 30-year-old me now. But when I was younger, 20 years old, I really didn't want to die.
Why?
Didn't.
Why? What's the reason why you're scared?
Because I was hiding so many things from my family. I was hiding about my true identity. I made, in our church, in our religion, you're not allowed to drink beer or any liquor that would twist your mind or your brain. So there are so many restrictions that I broke. And I knew when I was going to die, all hell will break loose, if you know what I mean. My parents will know everything. And I was so scared for them to find out.
But now, the fear is dying is from where? Are you afraid that you haven't done everything yet?
Right now, it's not that I'm asking God to take my life away, but I don't fear dying anymore. I think I'm ready to die because I have already shared everything to my family. I've done enough. So if I will die one day, my only request to God is, if I die, I want to die sleeping. My only fear really is that I don't want to die with ugly clothes on. That's my only fear. I don't want to die with ugly clothes on. Please, Jesus,
you pray
no.
that you don't die while you're taking a shower.
Yes, please, no. Lord.
So dapat mag-ayos ka din when nag-shower ka.
I know, right? That's why I always when it's my nighttime routine already, my skincare routine at night, I always use my best body wash. I always use my best facial foam or facial scrub,
Para
and I always pick the
mabango.
best underwear. I know I always pick the best underwear. I would
Yeah, yeah.
put perfume or cologne on.
But that's
I want to make sure my room smells good.
that's really who you are. Kasi if you brand yourself, you're that clean. Na, I can die anytime because I die beautiful.
Especially because I live alone. I actually left home 8 7 years ago. So
Yeah.
now that I'm living alone, I know nobody will take care of me that way. So I have to take care of myself.
Oh, from what you said,
That's a funny that's a funny thing to share, but I like sharing that fact
yeah, I
about me.
know. Pero like, diba, you said that you lived alone, which I already know. What was the
Mm.
greatest takeaway from that, from the being alone for 8 years?
I actually realized that human in nature are capable beings. We were told when we were younger in school that no man is an island.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are left in an island alone, you can still make things happen for yourself to find other humans you can connect to. So it's just about making things happen because we are capable. That's why we are on top of the being chain because we are more capable than anything on earth. It's
Yeah.
just that we have to know how to use our resources.
Yes.
We have to know how to enhance our skills.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to know how to operate on our own so that when the time comes that you have to be in a unit where you have to work with other people, you can operate with them without having any problems at all because you are independent. You just know how to do things.
I guess it all boils down to the need to survive kasi as humans, we
Mm.
really need to survive. So when people say that I cannot do that, I don't really believe that kasi we are capable, alam mo yun? So we can actually, for me we can do anything that we really want. It's just that we have these excuses or we haven't really tried or we're too scared. And that's the reason why
Mm.
execution is very, very powerful. It's taking
Yes.
control of your life, right? So yeah. So in summary, what advice can you give to your 20-year-old self in terms of career?
I will just remind myself that Kirkee at 20 continue taking risks. Because that's what I did when I left home. It was a risk I took. It was a huge risk. I went to a city where I didn't have relatives. I went to a city where it's expensive, but I didn't have the money to spend.
Mhm.
But I took that risk because I had a dream.
Yes.
And that dream was not just for me, but it was a dream for my family. It's just that I focused on myself more that time because I knew 5 years after, when I see myself succeeding, all my success will still be given back to my family. So I had a dream. So take risks.
Yeah.
Take risks at your own time because I don't want to force people to take risks at 14 when you're not ready. I don't want to force people to take risks at 19 or 20 when it's not your time yet.
Yeah,
But
true.
you just have to listen to yourself, like what I said earlier. Listen always to your inner self.
Yes.
Have a conversation with your inner self
Mhm.
because it's not stupid when you do that. It's actually very smart.
Yes, true.
When you have that inner conversation with yourself, you get to also understand your triggers. You get to understand your strengths and your
Yeah.
weaknesses, and you can properly enhance what you can, reinforce what you can, and redirect what you need to redirect.
Yes.
And then you know that it's time to take risks.
Yes.
And then when you do take the risk, you know that you will be brave enough, strong enough, and founded enough to stand on your own feet.
That's being self-aware. So
Yes.
being like anong tawag yan, you're trying to figure out pa. You're listening to yourself. And self-talk, I do that all the time. I feel like I'm crazy, but you're doing it too, right? So we're both
I
crazy.
am. Sometimes I even fight with myself when I make decisions, like because sometimes I still find myself really impulsive, especially when it comes to buying things that I like but I don't really need, or you
Yeah.
know what I'm trying to say.
Uh, yeah.
Sometimes I fight with myself, like, Kirky, why did you buy this? And then I answer myself, oh, it's okay because you can. You know what I'm trying to say? I actually had that conversation with myself.
You
It's
do.
crazy to some. It might
No, it's
sound
normal.
stupid to many people,
They're
but the
normal.
truth of the matter is it's normal and you
Yes.
need to do it.
And you need to
You
do it
banter
now.
with your own self.
Yeah, because it's very self-healing, for me. Because I get to really get to know myself more. Like, boy, what's wrong?
Mm-mm.
And then I talk to myself, ganito kasi, and I get to really deep in myself, and it's not crazy. It's very healthy. And that's the reason why I
Very
have my
healthy.
podcast, because I talk to myself a lot, and it's such a waste if I
Mm.
share it with anybody. So I just record it anyway, and then I don't care if people will listen or not, as long as I had that recording. And it's
Mm.
really, you get to be surprised by, like, oh, you get to realize a lot of things because of that. Like, oh, I know that already. And then you get at the end of that, you pat yourself na, oh, good job, girl.
Hey girl, you did it.
Girl. Yeah, I know. So it feels so good because I'm not the only one who's doing that. Thank you.
Yeah. And if there are people watching right now who's doing that,
Mm-mm.
then welcome to the club. And if you're not doing it yet, you better register, girl. Boy, register yourself in and start doing it. You need guidance. You need tick boxes on how to start. Tell us.
Tell us, message Kirkee Cal Roa.
And
Anyway,
Libni and Fortuna, we will help you for that.
yes, 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 yes. Our doors are open. That's why we are doing this. Anyway, how
Yeah.
about what advice can you give to your 20-year-old self about relationship?
Oh, a relationship, something that I am very, very fond about. When it comes to relationships, this is something that I have realized over the years that I have been single.
Mhm.
I'm not. It's not that I'm trying to sell myself out there, like, hey boy, I'm single, so just message me. No, it's not like that. Okay, it's never like that. But what I'm trying to say is, in the 6 7 years that I have been single, I actually realized that, if you want to be in a really good relationship, choose to be in a relationship with yourself first and with God. It's very, very important because, the existence of another romantic being in your life will only become a bonus because you're enough.
Mm.
Okay? And I am not going to lie to you that I am perfectly fine with myself being alone and just talking to God and my friends. No, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I also have, random visits of loneliness. It's
Yes.
very true. Especially when I watch these BL series that are very popular right now. I would scream on top of my lungs silently. I don't know how you do it, but I have done that. Screaming on top of your lungs silently. Isn't that crazy? And tell myself, like, oh, why is this not happening to you? Why wouldn't you get flowers from anybody? I also do that sometimes, okay? That's the truth. And it's not an ugly truth.
Yeah.
It's actually a very beautiful truth. I am still human with shady struggles, but it's okay. At the end of the day, if you are to counter it with a pie, which pie actually has more value in your life? Is it that little pie of sadness or the major pie of self-contentment? And I always go back to the self-contentment. I might have one night and feel like, oh, I wish I have a boyfriend that I
But
can
that's
hug
normal.
tonight because
Yeah.
it's cold and it's raining. Like tonight that we're filming this, it's raining outside. It would have been great if I could hug somebody. But it's not always raining every night.
That's
So
correct.
there are actually other nights that I'm just fine. You know what? The peace that I'm getting right now is stunning.
Yeah.
Just be satisfied you are in a relationship with yourself first, because it is impossible to be very dependent I know it's okay to coexist with someone in your life, but when you say that you are not going to be able to live on your own, that is not a healthy kind of lifestyle. If I will to talk to my 20-year-old self, just be careful in choosing your boyfriend. Be very careful. Don't rush just because the guy is cute. Because not all cute are to die for.
Just like how the saying goes, cannot give what you do not have. So unless you love yourself,
Mm-mm.
that's when you can receive the love that you're capable of receiving, right? And then don't love someone because you're empty. Kasi I really don't like it when people say that you're the missing piece. So if that person goes away, you're not anymore whole. So why not be whole first before engaging yourself to somebody else? Even me, I'm not an expert of that, as you can see. But
No, but I don't want you to discredit your strength now just because you're
no,
not perfect in
yeah,
relationships. Okay.
yeah. But I'm like, I also have to work on myself with relationships. But from that, I've been really learning a lot, and it's the most difficult situation for me has always been my turning point. So I'm always glad whenever I find difficult situations in my life. I do not give up. I just really get the lesson out from it. So it's very empowering when you really just turn your perspective around. What advice can you give to your 20-year-old self about spirituality?
Oh, spirituality is something that is a foundation in my life, especially that I grew up in church. I just want to tell my younger self to continue believing that there is a supreme being that is guiding you, that even if everyone in your circle will turn their back on you, there is always that someone who will be very willing to listen.
Yes.
He might not answer back in our language, but he will always have answers in his own way. You just have to wait and listen.
Yes.
Because most of the time, he will talk to you through situations, other people. Always believe that there is a supreme one who will be there to guide you, who will be there to love you, even if no one loves you anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, very emotional.
Yes, that's true, Beto. Like, if we feel that sometimes you're alone, you're really not alone. Kasi,
Mm-mm.
lalo na with all that's happening with the pandemic around, with everybody being depressed and, anxious about everything, and sometimes they feel really alone. There's
Mm-mm.
always somebody with us. Even if we call it God, we call it Jesus, or whoever it is, the universe, or whoever, there is always someone supreme. So that's really something to hold on to, that something is really, holding you together, and you shouldn't be afraid because everything is already written. We just have to trust the process.
And this is a topic that I always take seriously, when we talk about spirituality, I always, put myself together and calm down because this has been my guiding force all these years. The struggles that I've gone through in life, hunger, deprivation, financial issues, self-love issues, many, many things. But this has been my driving force. That if I can't love myself, at least I know somebody up there loves me and accepts me and will never get tired of me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I get tired of myself too. But I know that supreme one, that supreme being up there, whatever it is that you believe in, there is always a supreme being that will never get tired of understanding you.
Yeah.
And loving you, of course.
That's correct. And that's very powerful whenever you really absorb it. Like, I know that somebody up there is really loving me for whatever I am, for whatever I've been through, and really accepts me for who I am. And diba, sometimes we feel a lot of people, not just us, sometimes they feel like they're being rejected, nobody loves them. And that's a really good reminder that somebody loves you. Yes.
Yes.
Amen.
That's very powerful, yun. Very, very powerful. And I will always take that seriously.
Yeah.
I might always crack a joke here and there about certain topics or certain areas in my life, but this is something I take seriously.
Yeah. That's correct. That's really good. So, In relation with that, what extra can you advise to your 20-year-old self to hold on to until he gets old?
The biggest thing that I will always hold on to, even up to the age where I can't talk or even recognize people anymore, is that every little thing that I do is an achievement. A friend of mine, I just want to share. I had a friend for a long time, although we haven't seen each other for a long, long time, but we have recently reconnected. And he was very, very down in the recent days because he felt like wala siyang napundar in his life because he doesn't have a property, he doesn't have a saving, an enough amount of savings in his bank account. And I told him that, friend, when you say pundar, it's not just about the material things that you see. Knowing that you were able to provide for your family and survive until now, knowing that you're able to send your siblings to school, knowing that you're able to give your mother strength to not give up in life is already a pundar. Okay, it's not just about the car that you buy, it's not about the house that you buy.
It's
Because sometimes, mga good human as we are, when we talk about mga bagay na napundar natin, we always want to start, you know, calculating the properties that we have or the possessions that we acquire, the kind of cell phone that you have right now, and that it frustrates you. But always go back, being able to feed yourself a good meal, a decent meal on in a day-to-day basis is already a pundar, and that is something I will hold on to for the rest of my life. That whatever it is that I do, as long as I do it with good intentions, it is more than enough, and that is something that I have made a pundasyon for myself, and will never be forgotten by those who have experienced it with me, and I will never forget it because I was the one who did it.
Correct. That's correct.
Maorag yun lang talaga.
I agree with that. Kasi whenever, like, diba most of the people really say ang pundar is finances and everything. I have the money. But at the end of the day, they're still empty. Kasi they haven't really invested on themselves. They haven't really loved themselves that much. Kaya everything is not enough for them. So they try to fill it with the external things when in reality, everything is inside. Kasi if you're not filled inside, you cannot fill yourself outside. Even if you're the most richest person, pero you're not happy on the inside, it all sums up na you're not contented and you keep on searching. And alam mo yun, yung parang yun, sabi mo ng friend mo yun na, I haven't really fulfilled talaga akong napandar or anything. And what he missed the feeling that he already did. He missed out life, diba? So I think that's what people need to know, that they have to really look on what's there and not really miss on life.
Look beyond. Look beyond on what you can see with your naked eye.
You have to really, live on what's now, what you have, and not look at the external things. Kasi, diba, external things will just come. Diba? And even me, I used to think that before, puerta is everything. Like, I need to do this, I need to do that. Pero I never get enough of money. Even if it's there, parang kulang pa rin siya. Pero like, yung sabi mo nga na I can feed myself 3 times a day, I can feed my children and everything, I'm already fine. And then, alam mo yung slowly, things happen but things arrive, and it's very, very nice, fulfilling siya, and that's how you feel fulfilled in life. I really love the talk that we're having now. It's very it's very uplifting whenever we get to talk about this, and more so we get to share it with anybody else. And I'm really happy that you're here with me right now.
I am honored that you chose me to be your guest, because who am I? I'm just a simple guy standing in the front of a computer talking about the shit that I went through in life and how I went through it. Like, I am a nobody, but in my own little way, I am somebody. So that's very important. I'm just sharing my little light out there over the internet.
And it's just
I'm hoping that
it's just a glimpse.
Yes, I hope that little light will inspire somebody watching this.
Yeah. So yeah, next time we'll have another set of interview. I hope you accept my request. And let's keep on inspiring.
I will always be ready for you.
Let's keep on inspiring people. It's not just for me, but also for you in your own little way. In social media is very
Yes.
powerful. So I hope no, like
Mhm.
everybody just instead of posting like siguro mga rant or anything, why not share ba? No, a challenge lang to everybody who's listening right now. To share something good that can possibly inspire other people. Maybe they
Mhm.
need the message. Diba? So yes, that sums up our conversation about what advice can you give to your 20-year-old self. And thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate the time and the energy and the space. So
Thank you very much as well.
any more that you would like to share to everyone who's listening?
As just my last words before we end this video, to those who, yeah, to all the young ones out there watching the video, your time will come for you. Just continue to work hard and chase that dream and dream many dreams and find what dream is tailor fit for your skills and for your gifts because we have our own gifts. Don't forget that. And to those who are a little older, just like me, like us, who are in their 30s or maybe 40s or 50s, and you feel like you haven't done enough yet, I also want to remind you that you have survived all these years
Correct.
and you can survive more years to come.
Yeah.
So don't take things as if it's impossible.
Yeah.
Still, even in your age right now, continue to dream many dreams because one day you'll just realize that the dreams that you've only had in mind before, because you started trying to achieve it, you have already realized it. And it will be very empowering to your younger generations, even in your own family, to also share the experience that, hey, it's never too late to dream. It's never too late to achieve things. So continue because I always believe we have our own timeline and we have our own special formula that will work for us and that we are unique and we are loved and we will always be enough.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Thank you so much for that wonderful message. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So next time, don't forget to love yourself above all. And we hope that you really got something out from this conversation that we have. So again, if you can follow Kirk, it's Kirkee Cal Roa at Instagram and Facebook. So he has been posting. He's been posting also. He's empowering men wearing
Yeah, that's fine.
being confident with yourself. So yeah, if you need more advices, you can message Kirk or you can message me. And if you're too scared to come out of your shell, come on, sabay-sabay tayo lumabas. All right. So
Yes.
thank you so much for the time again. I love you so much.
I
See you.
love you so much too. See you next time.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.